knowledge off my little noggin.
I'm securing the fact that I'm surrounded by people and shit I fall out. Somebody gonna come save me. Ball and triangle.
Not with my money. Like this Bible study method of the S.O.A.P method. Another day, another workout. If you new here, I'm Asia G. If you not, welcome back. Ooh, I got some on the lens. I can't see if y'all can see it or not. Let's wipe it off. We closer than close now, y'all. Y'all didn't smell my breath. First gym workout of the week is Friday. So this is gonna be the only gym workout of the week. I feel like I got a pattern going. Hitting the gym once a week. Yoga is about 2 to 3 times a week. And then of course home workout is like good and in between, either like with a walk on the treadmill or like with a full body kind of workout at home. Some combination of all of that, and then usually like one rest day and then one active rest day. So I feel like I got a groove going, and it doesn't look anything like I thought my gym or fitness, not gym, but how I thought my fitness workout life would look, but I am enjoying it. I think that's one of the big things about being consistent with working out and fitness, is doing something that you enjoy. I'm not one of the people who think that you always have to enjoy the workout. I do think that that is helpful. So like if you have a goal and you don't enjoy working out, then I would lean more towards like the discipline and doing the exercise that you can tolerate the best, whether that's walking for a really long time or the Stairmaster or a home workout or joining group classes or fitness classes. But if you are working out just like for the pure joy of it, then the workout schedule could look any way that you want it to look. But if it's like a very goal oriented, it may take a little bit of leaning more towards discipline and consistency versus like enjoyment, especially if you don't enjoy nothing. If you say Asia eat liver, I don't care if it's chicken liver, calf liver, goat liver, I don't want no liver. I don't want the liver. So working out could be like that for some people. But hopefully if y'all follow this channel, y'all get to see that fitness can look a lot of different ways. And sometimes it looks like joy, sometimes it like consistency, sometimes it looks like just doing whatever you want to do. So today in the gym, we're gonna do whatever I want to do. I didn't come in with a real plan, but I think I'm gonna stick with like my regular, almost kind of gym formula that I've been doing, which is 3 to 4 heavy weighted exercises, and then like some kind of circuit at the end that's almost like a HIIT style. So that looks like varying between getting my heart rate up and then slowing it down. That's what we're gonna do today. Also I realized something this morning and it made me very sad. So I started using the teeth whitening kit that I got from my dentist. It irritated this tooth. I don't know why. This tooth don't hurt. It don't hurt when I eat, but when I put the solution like from the strips on there, it irritated the tooth so bad and caused so much sensation that I had to take the bottom strip off last night. I left the top strip on, but that bottom strip had to come off because this tooth said it didn't like it. But I made me a cup of coffee this morning and I thought to myself, the coffee, I know, the coffee is defeating the purpose of whitening your teeth. At least in the 10 days that you're going to be whitening your teeth, you shouldn't be drinking coffee. So now that I've came to that conclusion, like a good, smart, sane, normal person would, it's going to be a 10-day coffee cleanse, then with me reevaluating if I'm going to continue to drink coffee. Because if I'm drinking coffee just for the taste, if I'm drinking coffee for the caffeine, then I can switch that with a tea, a caffeinated tea. So when we're not giving up caffeine, we're just not drinking coffee. And then the second part of it is, if I'm going to drink coffee again after the 10 days, I need to make a room to only drink the coffee through a straw. I feel like that's doable because it defeats the purpose to whiten your teeth and then just drink coffee. You just restaining your teeth again. I'm sharing that tidbit of knowledge off my little noggin that anybody with common sense would have known. Well, it's really hot up in this car. So let's get on the inside. This is going to be a mic'd up workout. I'm sweating already. And let's do all of the things. Oh, how are you guys doing? Happy Friday. Tell me how you are. How are you doing? How you doing? Leave me a comment down below. We here, y'all. Okay, so we already had to pivot. I really want to do the V squat so I could do some good mornings. I have to figure out another way to do that because the machine says it's in need of rest. That's literally what the sound on the machine say. So we're going to do some
belted squats get this thing started because I wasn't naturally born with that. Okay, that's gym. I might have got skinny, but I have grew a little something. So squats, hip thrusts, deadlifts, like all of those good, juicy booty workouts has served your girl well because I didn't have this naturally. All right, these leggings is loose. Loose legging alert. Oh my goodness. I didn't start my watch. Did those first 2 sets not count?
It's the life that we have chose. I hit the gas on the road. I had to do it.
With the belted squat, it's like a game of yin and yang because your legs are strong. It can push a bunch of weight, but because that belted squat is on your waist, you feel all of that weight in your waist. So it's like you can't go really, really heavy as if you were doing a back squat, even though it's a squat motion, because your hips and all of that will feel it. I try to be mindful of it because I don't want to hurt myself. But the other key thing, not loading it too heavy, but pushing like through your heels when you come up so that you kind of feel it all up in here. It's just pulling you back like that. I want to say it's almost kind of like how they say a deadlift. It's like if you had a rubber band, they were just pulling you at your waist and then going down into a squat and jumping back up through pushing through your heels. So this is my third set. I got one more. We're going to keep this thing rolling because we're going to be here, what, an hour. That's the other thing to make your workout really great, or at least try to make you enjoy it. It's to like set the time. Set the time, like I'm only going to be here 30 minutes. I'm only going to be on this treadmill 20 minutes. I'm only going to do a walk for 10 songs on my iPhone. I'm only going to do 7 songs on my Spotify list. Once that 7th song in, the workout is done. So like setting like little stop points in so you know that the workout doesn't last forever, because you can do anything. You can endure anything for 7 to 10 songs.
I live this life while you just talk about it. Put my money where my mouth is and I keep it solid. Speaking on my name and I just can't allow it. Working in the tent till the whole team is balling. Yeah. I get that back and I double it.
Whip it real hard. Whip it real hard. I call the charge. Whip it real. Whip it real hard.
Yeah, we bubbling. Heard all that talk at enough. Marrying the game, I'm in love with it. Came with that work in the stash. Like, baby, I'm up in my bag. I can't believe baby so mad. My baby, she looking so bad.
Let me tell y'all. Holding that bar like this on those dang on split lunges. I think split lunges. What are they called? On them lunge step ups or they split machine. Whatever. Your elbows feel that weight. Let me tell you, my elbows feel creaky after that, and now I gotta do some arm exercises. So this is my complaining for today. Rule number 3872. You can definitely complain during your workout, because if you're complaining, that means you're probably doing it. And if you're doing it, ain't that the goal? Mind control over these people, B-roll.
They praying on me that I fall, but they don't be getting that call. They say for the flex, no, it's facts. I put that weight on my back. I'm counting this money.
I'm gonna run this club black later, but I feel like those is really good, and I don't feel like I was swinging. But I only got 8 of them. And I wanna let's do higher reps, lower weight. So let's go to the actual 27 for the rest of them. And then let's pull 10 to 12 times.
Life while you just talk about it. Put my money where my mouth is.
All right, we done made it to the circuit. This gym time, I'm making good time, but I feel like it's passing slow shit. I'm struggling. Yeah, these leggings don't like me, but I like them, so we in it together. Me and you should never part. The cardio side of this is definitely them burpees. My little heart can't handle it. It can't handle it. Anybody know CPR? Anybody know CPR? I'm secure in the fact that I'm surrounded by people, and should I fall out, Somebody gonna come save me. Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her. And she don't wanna be saved. Don't.
She don't wanna be saved. Don't save.
I wanna be saved. We did this really cool flow in yoga yesterday, and I'm trying to see if I can remember it a little bit. I only got like 3 minutes left, and I'm done. I'm done with the gym. Done. I usually do 2 different circuits today. I did 1 different circuit. That's all I have to do. Then I do some cardio later tonight. It kind of went like, how did she get us down there? I got it.
Okay, so you start off in downward dog, then she called out for a 3-leg dog, and then she called for a cheetah, and then she called for falling triangle, and then she called for a side plank, and then she called for a walk your dog. It's not a walk your dog. No, she called for a wild thing. And then she called for a crescent lunge. And then for crescent lunge, she called for, ooh, what she called for? What's it, an eagle? What's it, an eagle? And then stork. And then airplane. And then she said landed.
Back to crescent lunge. I might have made that last part up. But I thought that was so cool. Go ahead. You good? All right, we out of here.
We're gonna leave this air conditioner on because I'm gonna burn up. It is extremely hot. 97 degrees according to my car. So hopefully the air doesn't bother the sound quality of this. So let's see. What I need to do is be responsible and say we have food at home, because I just went to the grocery store yesterday and got like a little bit of stuff. Now that I think about it, I didn't get any real food, but the responsible part of me could go home and eat eggs, toast, some chicken sausage, but no, that's not what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna order this food that I've been thinking about for like 3 days from City Silo. They got something called a sunshine burrito. Okay, check out. It being on the side like that be confusing me. $19. A surcharge of 10%. Now I can't pay $20 for a burrito. So we finna go home and eat. I feel like y'all not gonna be able to hear me. With that being said, we got food at home because that's ridiculous. I got some quinoa at home. Maybe I'll go by the store and pick up some stuff and make my own burrito, because y'all lost y'all love mine. Not with my money. Not with my goddamn money. Also, I'm cussing, but I also wanted to share, like, I know in my other video, I was telling you guys how, like, my favorite things that I had been doing so far, one of them was, like, this Bible study method of the S.O.A.P method, which is, like, scripture, observation, application, and prayer. And so the chapter of the Bible that I'm kind of like really just getting into, like, no matter how many other stuff I do through my Bible study journey, I keep coming back to Kings, 1 Kings and 2 Kings. And from what I've been reading so far, like, it's really like Elijah the prophet with Elisha, who is his apprentice prophet that God told Elijah to go and get. So what kind of stuck with me yesterday is in Kings, in 2 Kings, maybe it's chapter 2, Elijah goes to be with God. Like, God sent down the chariot and bring Elijah up. But what initially got me like deep into Kings was people were prosecuting Elijah and his prophets, like the people who was with his company of prophets. And so his life is threatened by Jezebel and her husband, because he ends up killing like somebody that's on their team. And so he runs away or whatever, and he runs far, and he's just kind of weeping and just like down, depressed, and he kind of cries out to God and just like, isn't it enough? Like, nobody's here, I'm all alone, just come and take me, haven't I done enough? And so he falls asleep, and an angel comes, wake Elijah up and say, eat and drink. And then Elijah go back to sleep. Like, he eat and drink, he go back to sleep like the angel said. And then the angel wakes him up again and says, eat and drink, because you're going to go on a really far journey. And he tells like Elijah to go to the mountains to meet God. So Elijah goes to the mountain and he meets God in the cave. And when he meets God in the cave, like these 3 different kind of natural anomalies happen, and like God isn't in those 3 things. And God, when Elijah finally speaks to God again, it says God spoke in a still voice, so like a small voice. And so Elijah kind of tells God what God's already know, like, I'm out here, I'm alone, I'm depressed, nobody is listening, my life is in danger, basically let me just come be with you. And so of course God knows all this, but he allows Elijah to, when I kind of read the breakdown of this, okay, so I didn't come up with this part of my own, but he, even though God knew what had happened with Elijah, he allowed Elijah to kind of vent and say his side of the story and to feel heard. And of course God says, you know, he's not finna take Elijah to heaven. You don't get to decide when you go to heaven, I decide that. So he tells Elijah, go back and name this person king, because it was the king of Israel and his wife that was doing the most. So he said, well, remove him as king, this person's gonna be king. If you lonely, then go pick up Elisha, tell Elisha to come follow you and prophesize with you. And he tells him a couple of other things to kind of help him on this journey. Like, I got 7,000 people, you are not alone, basically is what God is saying in like 1 Kings, like in the back of it, right before we go to 2 Kings. And so Elijah does all of this, and he gets Elisha, and this is how Elisha becomes like a prophet or whatever. And so in Kings 2, somewhere in there, Elijah is finally gonna go to heaven, and everybody keep asking Elisha, who is Elijah, who God gave Elijah so that he wouldn't basically be lonely like in his prophesizing, as he goes to Jericho, Jordan, and Bethel. Like, everybody is like, you know Elijah gonna die, you know Elijah, God is gonna come and get Elijah, you know the Lord is gonna come and get Elijah. And the whole time Elisha is like, yeah, so be quiet, like quit mentioning it to me. And also Elijah keeps telling Elisha, because baby, Elisha, like, you don't have to call me to these cities, you don't have to call me to these cities. And Elisha is like, you know, as long as you believe in the Lord, as long as I believe in the Lord, I'm gonna be with you wherever. And so with that being said, finally somewhere in there, like, the Lord sends the chariot to get Elijah and bring him on to heaven. And then Elisha had already asked Elijah for double his spirit and like his favor with the Lord and his ability to kind of perform I won't say miracles, but to be able to work in the Lord's name, passed on to Elisha. But what kind of dawned on me yesterday when I got down to there was the scripture, when I got down to the observation part, is that God did not take Elijah when Elijah originally wanted to go. He listened to Elijah, he answered Elijah's prayers in a different way, and where he had somebody, and Elijah had that person all the way to the end. Because you get into 2 Kings, he keeps telling Elisha, no, you don't have to come, but Elisha is with him until God calls him home. So that loneliness that Elijah felt while he was out doing God prophecy, he didn't feel that for the rest of the time after he told God about it, because Elisha stayed with him. Even when Elisha knew he was going to die, even when Elijah kept telling Elisha, no, you don't have to come, stay here, I'm going to go do something else, Elisha was like, no, I'm coming with you. Which is what Elijah essentially was telling God, like, what was making it so hard is that he was lonely, and he was never lonely again until the day God called him home. That was one. The second thing was when he originally went and kind of was just like, everybody's trying to prosecute me, Lord, just bring me home. The Lord didn't do it. The Lord called him to the mountain, into the cave, and they talked. But the Lord did answer his prayer. He went and came and got Elijah, and Elijah didn't die a horrible death. He didn't get stoned, he didn't get hung, he didn't get crucified or nothing. The Lord sent a chariot down and brought Elijah on home in the Lord's time, but he still answered Elijah's prayer of coming to be with him. It was just like, even when prayers aren't answered in the time that you think, the Lord works it out. And I feel like the Bible is kind of written that way to show that the Lord works it out. It doesn't always work out the way that we want it to work out, but to me, that was the observation like that I had, and I was just brought to tears. Just like, he always answers the prayer. And I do get sometimes he says no. I feel like there's so much conflicting stuff within the Bible of like, he always give you your heart's desire and answer, but then it also has to be in alignment with him, but then he also says no. But within that, I was like, I could see how a prayer answered, but answered, you know, in God's time. And then as far as the application had went, like how I would apply that to my life, it was kind of more so like a really personal application, so I'm not going to share that here, but I feel like it gave me confirmation about something that I was thinking about. Elijah refusing to leave, Elisha refusing to leave Elijah, even knowing that he was going to die, like refusing to leave him, being a steady companion by his side. And then down in my prayer, which was also personal, like I originally prayed that I have somebody like Elisha, somebody who would stay with me through any hard times, even near death's door, that somebody would be there with me so that I don't be lonely, whether that's a companion in a romantic companion or a friend, a sister, like all of those things, like either one, like where I have somebody with me, basically like a companion. But then like as I finished writing that prayer, I thought, well, that's a good prayer, you could want that. And then my second thought was, what I really wish was my first thought, but I'm human, was that I could be a companion for somebody. And I may not know that that is what I am, but I do pray that he uses me in that way, that I am a companion for somebody who feels lonely, that they can't do it anymore, that they need to give up, or they're just asking God for somebody to be there for them. Like, and I don't need to hear like God's voice saying this is your person or confirmation, but for that person to feel that I am, and for me to like feel that role, you know, knowingly or unknowingly is what I'm saying. But anyway, that was my SOAP method for the Bible study that I did yesterday. Again, like this is the video that I've learned about the SOAP method for Bible study, if you guys want to do it. And also, these are the two scriptures, well, not the two because it's more than two, but this is the scriptures that I am talking about in Kings, with Elijah, who is a prophet, and then Elisha, who God designates to be Elijah's companion, who also then takes up two-part spirits of Elijah's like favor with the Lord and ability to prophesy and work in the Lord's name. There was a lot, and I'm not gonna cut it. So I'm gonna go home and be responsible and eat some food. But thanks for hanging out with this gym day for me. I was gonna make it longer, but we'll see. If y'all don't see me after this, then I will see you guys next time. And until then, but if you guys do see me after this, then let's kick it for the weekend, because it's Friday.